So why is shared use an effective strategy for creating more opportunities for physical activity? Well, parents today are more afraid to let their children go out and play on their own than they were in the past. And they're more inclined to let their children participate in programs if they're in safe places and they're supervised, like at schools and faith-based organizations, YMCAs, and parks and recreation. If there's supervision, if they're safe, we're more likely to get parents to bring their children out to participate. So another reason why shared use is an effective strategy is that children across the country are not getting adequate amounts of physical activity during the school day. There's a variety of reasons contributing to that, but the fact remains that they're not moving enough during the school day. Parks and recreation, YMCAs are trying to fill the gap, but with increasing land and facility costs, it's becoming increasingly prohibitive for parents to be able to enroll their kids in after-school programs and drive them to these locations that are often outside of the community limits. Finally, sharing spaces to create new opportunities, whether it's in schools, faith-based organizations, or even malls, can create new opportunities for people to be physically active. And when I say new, I mean it's using the space for something that it wasn't originally maybe intended for. A baseball field, for example, instead of playing baseball on it, we've seen adult programs come in and playing adult kickball. Great way to bring adults out, get them to be active. There's a whole social component to it, and something that can be sustained over a period of time. Malls, as I've mentioned before, are great for walking programs, not only for seniors, which is what they're typically used for, but for all segments of the population when the weather is either too hot or too cold or too wet. So sharing spaces not only can create more use of a facility, it can increase a repertoire of skills that will allow people to maintain activity for a longer period of time. So what is shared use? Well, the term shared use is really an umbrella term that describes this whole area of trying to create more opportunities for people to be physically active. Basically, we're looking at either taking spaces that have been designed for physical activity, like schools, parks and recreation, YMCAs. They have the facilities that are designed to be physically active, and we're looking for ways to increase the use of those facilities. Or we're looking at other facilities in the communities that maybe weren't thought of for physical activity, but could be used. Malls, for example, with mall walking programs, can create a great opportunity for a segment of the population to be physically active. The term open use can include both a formal agreement or an informal agreement. Implies that the public has open access to use the facility when school is not in session. Elementary schools, middle schools, playgrounds like we see here, tracks at middle schools and high schools. These are great examples of facilities that are readily available for an open use arrangement, where the public is invited to come in and use the facility when school's not in session. So the term joint use is probably one of the more recognized terms in this area, and it describes a formal agreement between two parties. So a school facility who has the facility that someone wants to use would enter into a formal agreement with, say, a youth basketball program that wants to use that facility, that gym, after hours for a basketball program. So they would identify in a contract, who has the liability coverage, the youth basketball program, when they're going to use the facility, how much they're going to pay for it, and then who fixes things when they're broken. So that's the formal side of the shared use agreement.